Kore Mwapenduka and welcome to Africa Good Morning. My name is Glenora Shipura and happy Africa Day. In today's broadcast, we will be taking a look at the top stories on the African continent and beyond the African borders. We'll also be crossing over to our correspondent Mike Sichula in Zambia, who will be giving us the current state of affairs in the real Africa. We'll give you an update on economic news, weather, and so much more. We'll be right back after this. Getting right into our top stories. Starting us off, we are in the DR Congo. Former Democratic Republic of Congo President Joseph Kabila has broken his 6-year silence, denouncing the government of President Felix Tshisekedi as a dictatorship following the Senate's decision to lift his immunity. Speaking for 45 minutes in a surprise YouTube address, Kabila rejected allegations linking him to the M23 rebel group and accused authorities of using the justice system for political gain. He slammed the government's economic mismanagement, corruption, and reliance on militias instead of the national army, claiming the country has become a failed, divided, disintegrated state. Kabila called for the withdrawal of all foreign troops, including Rwandan forces, and endorsed peace efforts supported by the Catholic Church, while critics noted irony in his accusations, many of which mirror past critiques of his own regime. Kabila insisted on restoring democracy and good governance. His return to public life could heighten tensions in an already volatile landscape. We now swing over to Namibia's neighbor, South Africa. After years of conflict in the after refugees in limbo, U.S. welcomes white South Africans. After years of conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Pasito fled with his family to Kenya, hoping to start anew in the U.S. Like 120,000 other refugees, they were conditionally approved, vetted, and prepared for resettlement, only for their flight to be abruptly cancelled following President Trump's suspension of the refugee program. While many remain stranded, a new executive order fast-tracked white South Africans, specifically Afrikaners, as refugees, citing claims of racial discrimination and genocide. Allegations widely disputed and diplomatically explosive. One plane carrying Afrikaner landed with ceremonial fanfare near Washington, D.C., sparking outrage and confusion among other displaced families. Refugee advocates have criticized the inconsistency, saying protection should be based on credible evidence of persecution, not race. Meanwhile, Pasito and others like the Hamad family from Gaza remain in limbo, grappling with dashes, hopes, and dire uncertainty. Sometimes we get food, sometimes we don't, Pasito said. We've been struggling very badly. Getting into our next story, an Ivorian court has officially confirmed Tidjane Thiam as the leader of the Democratic Party of Côte d'Ivoire, PDCI, dismissing a legal challenge questioning his eligibility due to alleged loss of Ivorian nationality. The case, brought by party member Valéry Yapo, claimed Thiam forfeited his citizenship when he acquired French nationality in 1987, which he argued violated party rules. However, the court deemed the case inadmissible, allowing Thiam to retain his leadership role. This comes after Thiam was removed from the electoral roll in April over his dual nationality, prompting him to resign briefly in protest on May 12th. Just 2 days later, he was overwhelmingly re-elected by party delegates with over 99% support. While the court ruling reinforces his position in the PDCI, questions remain about his presidential ambitions as the party still challenges the decision excluding him from the voter registry, a prerequisite for his 2025 presidential bid. Congo eyes U.S. minerals deal by the end of June, FT reports. The Democratic Republic of Congo is aiming to finalize a minerals investment deal with the United States by the end of June, according to a report by the Financial Times. The proposed agreement could see Congolese minerals like tungsten, tantalum, and tin exported to Rwanda for processing as part of a broader U.S. brokered peace initiative aimed at ending the M23 rebellion in eastern Congo. Kinshasa has accused Rwanda of illegally profiting from the region's mineral wealth, a key factor fueling ongoing conflict. Congo's Mines Minister Kizito Pakabomba said the deal would help diversify partnership and reduce the country's heavy reliance on China for mineral exploitation. The U.S. is also pushing for a peace deal between Congo and Rwanda to accompany the investment, potentially unlocking billions in Western funding. However, significant challenges remain, including continued Rwandan security measures at the border and allegations of mineral smuggling. Both agreements remain under negotiations, with diplomatic efforts intensifying in the coming week. In our next story, we are taking a look at the UK Mauritius Chagos deal gets green light after court ruling. A British court has cleared the way for the UK to proceed with a landmark agreement to transfer sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius, ending a decades-long territorial dispute. The High Court had initially blocked the move following a legal challenge by two British Chagosian women representing the interests of the island's displaced communities. However, Judge Martin Chamberlain ruled that no further injunctions would be granted, allowing the deal to move forward. Under the agreement, the UK retains control of the Diego Garcia military base through a 99-year lease with the United States, while sovereignty over the wider Chagos archipelago will shift to Mauritius. This handover marks a significant step in correcting historical injustice dating back to the 1965 separation of the islands from Mauritius and the forced displacement of Chagosians. While celebrated by some, others argue it does not fully address past harms. All right, that brings us to the end of our top stories. On the other side of these, we will be talking to Mike Sichula, who will be giving us the state of affairs in the real Africa. Good morning, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Good morning to you, and Africa Freedom Day to all Africans watching this program within the continent and beyond.
Thank you so much. Now, getting into your first story, I understand that after a drought, Zambia is projecting to produce over 3.6 million metric tons of maize harvest from past farming season. This is definitely good news.
Yes, indeed, this is good news for Zambia, considering that we rely on maize with our staple food mealie meal. So having recorded this bumper harvest, as you can see, over 3.6 million metric tons. Actually, these are projections that have been issued by the Zambia Statistical Agency. So the information was released by Acting Minister of Agriculture, Sylvia Masebo, who said that 93% of this maize has been produced by local farmers, while the commercial farmers contributed 7%. So the actual results of the maize projections will be reviewed in October this year, according to authorities. But the good part is that some of the provinces, like Central Province, was the highest, having produced more than 600,000 metric tons of maize. So becoming more or less like Zambia's new food basket province. So this development has excited the government. As you can see in the picture there, President Hakainde Hichilema thanking the farmers, because President Hakainde Hichilema called on the farmers to not to be to give up in terms of farming, considering that the past farming season, most of their crops went to waste and there was fear that even this year the rains were not going to be favorable in terms of cultivating maize. So the government did encourage farmers to get into the field, and the results have been widely seen from this projection that the country is going to record over 3.6 million metric tons, which will be the highest in the country's history in terms of maize production. So this development is likely going to lead to the reduction in the prices of maize and also mealie meal, which is a staple food. As we speak, a bag of 25 kg costs, or it was costing almost 500, 400, depending on the region. But because of this production, the cost of mealie meal is expected to reduce further to below 200 kwacha across the country, which is something that people are saying is likely going to contribute to the reduction on poverty levels in the country.
Well, like I said before, that's definitely good news for Zambia. In another development, though, 11 women were apprehended by the police. They were working at a spa and they are suspected of engaging in prostitution.
Yes, quite a sad story. So the suspects aged between 20 and 31 were picked up on Tuesday, that is the 20th of May 2025, during a joint operation by the Kitwe City Council Department of Public Health and Council Police. So Kitwe City Council Director of Public Health, Rodney Banda, said the operation was carried out after a tip-off from a member of the public who, as they were passing through this compound, they picked up a used condom, and this raised an alarm to say other members joined in to say we suspect there are some illegal activities going on at this premises. So because of this, the council went in and they did discover these women, 11 of them, and they were picked up. So these women were coming from different regions of Zambia, and they were working at this massage parlor in Kitwe on the Copper Belt. So they did search the house, and they discovered that these women were actually not uh, coming and going as working, but they were actually staying within the premises, and only one of the rooms was the one that was used as a massage parlor. So they also discovered some other within as they were searching, they discovered used condoms within the premises, which according to them indicates that this premises might have been used for other illegal activities instead of what the license grants them to use it as a massage parlor. So they have been arrested and charged with the offense of making money through prostitution, which is illegal in Zambia. So they are expected to appear in court soon. And these cases this is one of just of the cases where there's a lot of been concern amongst Zambians and including authorities that most of the massage parlors that have been established within Zambia are not used for the intended purpose, but they're actually being used as brothels where sexual activities in exchange for money is going on between the ladies that have been employed and the supposedly male clients who seek massage parlor, but in the end, they end up doing illegal activities.
Well, that is definitely concerning. Do let us know on any further developments in that story. Moving on, I understand that the President, Hakainde Hichilema, has invited UK investors to attend the Invest in Zambia International Conference set to take place this July.
Yeah, so the international conference will run from the 16th to 18th July 2025 at the Lusaka International Murungushi Conference Center. So President Hakainde Hichilema, in his appeal to foreign investors, he called on UK investors that Zambia is on the journey of transformation with all indicators moving in a positive trajectory. So the president said the event serves as a key platform for forging strategic partnerships, among others. So the president is hoping that Zambia, having anchored its economic growth drive on principles of policy reform, is aimed at making the country one of the most attractive investment destinations in Africa. So the president has been very key and vocal in terms of attracting foreign investment. He's called himself as a chief marketing officer for Zambia, but recently he just said that he has cut down on foreign trips because a number of people had complained to say the president was traveling too much in as far as he's seeking foreign investment into Zambia. So he has cut down on these foreign trips. But this conference that is coming is one of those that he says because of his traveling, it is a fruit of him having traveled across the country since taking office to bring investment into Zambia. So this conference is one of those that he hopes that foreign investors that are going to attend will most likely pledge foreign direct investment into Zambia in line with his economic diplomacy that he embarked on ever since he took office in 2021.
All right, now moving over to sports news. In some exciting news for Zambians, I understand that the Copper Queens captain Barbara Banda is the first African to score a hat trick in the National Women's Soccer League.
Yes, indeed, quite an achievement of Barbara Banda. She keeps soaring from one stage to another. So she ended her 3-match goal drought by scoring her first ever hat trick in Orlando Pride's history in a 3-1 away win over Utah Loyals FC in the National Women's Soccer League in the United States of America on Saturday. So Barbara Banda stuck in the 60th, 37th, and 38th minute at the American First Field, powering Prides into the second place on the table with 19 points, just 2 points behind Kansas City Current. So with this achievement, she now has 7 goals and 1 assist in 10 games. So the reigning CAF Women's African Footballer of the Year now sits level with Eliza Gonzalez in the race for the Golden Boot this season. So having scored that hat trick, Barbara Banda will link up with the Copper Queens squad for a 3-nation FIFA friendly series in South Africa featuring 2022 WAFCON bronze medalist Zambia and 2022 WAFCON winners South Africa and Botswana during the FIFA international window that is coming up this weekend. So it is quite an achievement for Barbara Banda. And with this achievement, it is likely that she's going to motivate our team members so that Zambia pushes for their first WAFCON tournament coming this should be in July when the WAFCON tournament will be held.
Well, we are keeping our fingers crossed for that. Now, I see that Zambia is the gift that keeps on giving. In your entertainment news, you have some exciting news coming from the 2025 Miss World competition.
Yes, indeed. We have Faith Warrior there who's doing exploits. So a bit of history is that in 1974, just 10 years after Zambia gained independence, Christine Mukombwe made history as the first ever Miss World Zambia, proudly traveling to London to present her country on the global stage. Then 51 years later, Faith Warrior has become the first Miss World Zambia to advance to the quarterfinals of the Miss World. So Faith Warrior is now top 10, among the top 10 models from Africa to grace the Miss World stage next weekend, that is the 31st May. So she impressed judges during the head-to-head challenge showcasing remarkable confidence and grace during her period, during her the presentation, earning herself the first ever quarterfinal berth for Zambia 51 years after Christine Munkombwe managed the fate. So it is an exciting news for Zambians who are in the for Zambians as well as the industry of beauty pageant across Zambia. So one of the frontiers in this journey has been Alice, who's been managing the girls, and she came through one of the competitions that was locally organized by Alice Musukwa, and she's been excited seeing that the girls that came out victorious are doing it on the world stage as well.
All right. Thank you so much for bringing us these stories from the real Africa.
Thank you very much, Grenola. Africa is a very good Africa Freedom Day to all Africans across the African continent. Africa, good morning to everyone.
Africa, good morning to everyone indeed. Let's now take a look at the economic indicators. That was our weather update. Our economic indicators will follow shortly after the economic news. Starting us off, we are in South Africa, which has introduced a draft policy that could ease restrictions for foreign communication companies, such as Elon Musk's Starlink, by allowing equity equivalent investment instead of requiring direct black ownership. Currently, the Electronic Communications Act mandates that 30% of local subsidiaries of foreign-owned firms be sold to historically disadvantaged groups. This provision has been a stumbling block for companies like Starlink. Communications Minister Solly Malatsi's proposal would allow alternative investments such as funding for skills development, infrastructure, and small enterprise growth as a substitute for direct equity sales. These alternatives are already recognized in sectors like the automotive industry. The ministry believes this policy shift will boost investor confidence and broadband expansion. However, opposition voices like the Economic Freedom Fighters have criticized the move, warning against comprising South Africa's transformation laws to accommodate foreign business interests. The final decision may shape the future of South Africa's telecoms sector. In our next story, at the 78th World Health Assembly in Geneva, world leaders and philanthropists pledged over $170 million to support the World Health Organization, bolstering its ongoing investment round and 14th General Program of Work, which aims to save 40 million lives in 4 years. Member states additionally approved $90 million annual increase in assessed contributions. In a show of grassroots support, nearly 8,000 individuals contributed close to $600,000 through the One World movement. These funds arrive amid a global health funding crisis, providing critical backing for WHO's life-saving initiatives across the globe. Let's swing over to the economic indicators. If you're just joining Africa, good morning. Worry not, here are the highlights. DR Congo ex-leader lashes out after immunity lifted for treason charges. Other refugees in limbo as US welcomes white South Africans. Tidjane Thiam confirmed as PDCI president by Ivorian court. Congo eyes US minerals deal by end of June, FT reports says. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. From me, Glenora Shipura. Happy Africa Day.